Hey, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the final episode on control for this month of June, where we have been talking about the locus of control, the circles of control, some discussion last episode on the feeling of helplessness when things are not within our control. This episode, I'd like to focus a little bit on authenticity because that is my area of specialization as a life coach. And I love self-reflective discussions to go back to where we look at various things that take us one step closer to our authentic self. Okay, so as you listen to this episode and the little things that we will wind up with, I want you to be thinking about certain questions and keep these in mind as you're listening. Are there areas in your life where you are forcing control at the expense of authenticity? Are you holding on to relationships where you don't align with on a personal level or in a value, according to your values? Are you in a workspace where you are uncertain about making a move out of it because the comfort zone gives you a sense of control and the stagnation is okay because the uncertainty is scary? Yeah. Are you trying to fit into a community group or a social group where you don't really belong, but you hate being singled out and you don't want to be alone? What is the cost of being your unauthentic self in all of these situations and circumstances? I had 3 pretty severe car accidents almost 15 years ago. And each time, and they were in very quick succession, but each time they happened, it was not a fault of mine. I would come home and get on a rental and drive to work the next day. I refused to acknowledge the fear simply because what was happening was I had a complete sense of lack of control, but I wanted to hold on to the fact that, I have a deadline, I can do this. So what if my life is not in my hands? I got this deadline. And not acknowledging that fear led me to then go through a case of PTSD, followed by some mild clinical depression for which I went through therapy and medication for a year. And what was happening was I was living a very unauthentic life by not acknowledging this fear and trying to live in a false sense of control. I was not being compassionate to myself. I was not being self-aware. And those two are your biggest pillars of authenticity. Because living an authentic life means you are accepting yourself for who you are and acknowledging the weaknesses and the circumstances that you have. Sometimes we like to feel that sense of control because we have given permission to our environment to do so. I might have 100 things that I can manage better in the morning in terms of my time management skills, but I'm not going to do them. You know why? Because I love feeling needed. I love when 1 million people are calling me, Preetha, I need this. My daughter, my husband, my coworkers, my friends. And what is happening in the process? I am pulled in 1 million directions. But at the end of the day, I am feeling needed and I am feeling a very false sense of control. Thinking, guess what? All these people cannot do without me. In reality, I am not being very authentic. I am living a complete lie because if I managed my situations better, I would be taking better care of my mental and physical health. And so oftentimes, because we are living in that fool's paradise of control, we often compromise our sense of creativity. Our relationships are strained. Our health suffers immensely. We are not able to develop as much as we would like to on a personal level. We don't have time for ourselves. And so if we are in a position of leadership in a workspace, or if we are a parent or a guardian, or have a certain amount of responsibility, then it is not about control that gives us true autonomy. The boldest act of authenticity is to let go and trust yourself and those around you and know that things will unfold in a way for a reason. So think about this, friends, as you go about your day and ask yourselves, when are you comfortable letting go? And what are you holding on to unnecessarily? Until next time, this is Preetha.